Okay. Well, welcome everybody. So thankful that you are taking time out of your Sunday night to come and hear a few of our stories. I'm going to tell you a tiny bit of my story in just a minute, but I'll say that for me, stories are what created this intrigue for me. I remember seeing different stories over all these years, seeing and hearing different stories, and all of these people that I was seeing and hearing stories about, I saw little bits of my story and their story. However, their story, they were having change, whereas I was sitting in my place feeling uh, less than I could have been. And so stories were so powerful for me when I started that I'm really, really passionate about sharing our stories in hopes that maybe you hear a little bit of your story and ours. And this gives you a little bit of hope, walking away thinking, maybe this could help me the way it helped Emily or the way it helped Sunny or Paige. And more than anything, I just hope that this is a place where you feel seen, you feel loved, you feel safe, and you feel cared for. So my name is Emily. I live in Boise, Idaho. Many years ago, I had a girlfriend of mine that I had gone to college with. She reached out to me through Facebook Messenger, this really long message, and she'd found some products that had helped her lose some weight. They'd helped her with her migraines and they helped her with her intense sugar cravings. And she had just started them. She was really loving how she was feeling. And so she reached out to me and asked if I would want to do it with her. I was nursing my youngest at the time, and I was really hesitant about putting things in my body. I also knew myself, and I knew that I would go into these little health spurts and I would run to Walmart and buy like a women's vitamin and I would take it for about 2 or 3 days and I'd have my fridge loaded with celery and kale and all the things that I just really knew I was going to just get on this health train. And then 2 or 3 days later, I would realize I wasn't consistent. I didn't want to spend that $9.99 and waste that money on those vitamins I wasn't taking. So I knew myself and I knew I wouldn't take them. And also, my family, we were really tight financially. My husband and I both worked nonprofit ministries. And we just did not have extra funds. I was staying at home most of the time. I was working part time and I was making $500 a month, and we were so, so tight. And so I just didn't feel like I could spend the money on myself. Well, fast forward after saying no to her for 4 years. But seeing lots and lots of different stories and getting over my massive skepticism, I reached out to her. And by the way, she had sent me some samples of the Slim Pink drink 4 years prior. And I was so skeptical, I threw them in the trash because I was so like, I'm not putting that stuff in my body. I see what all of you guys losing weight. Like, there's got to be something in there that's hurting you. I'm not going to do that. I know better. You guys are fools. That was my mindset for 4 years. Then I finally reached out to her because I was just at a place where I was not sleeping through the night. I come from a long line of insomniacs. And so I was starting to get anxious over my sleep. I was having a really hard time losing weight. I was super, super addicted to sugar. It was basically, and having young children, you're eating leftover chicken nuggets, goldfish. And then for me, I was just taking handfuls of chocolate chips and just downing them all the time, all day, every day. I had very little energy. My stomach hurt after every meal. So I had like a lot of things going. But for me, the biggest thing was I really felt insecure in my body. And so I finally reached out to my friend. She ended up sending me some samples for free. And I tried them for a couple of months, all because of her. And I really liked the way I was feeling. I was feeling less bloating. I was going to the bathroom more regularly. I was having more energy to be with my children. I noticed that I was sleeping deeper and those sugar cravings were almost gone. And so I decided, okay, like this is really, I feel good. At that point, I hadn't lost weight yet, but I was noticing less bloating in my stomach and I woke up feeling leaner. And so there was this hope of like, okay, well, if this is how I feel after 2 months, how am I going to feel in 6 months or in 12 months? But because we were so tight financially, I knew that I'd have to go and get my products paid for. And that was a really hard decision for me because I really value people. I really value relationships, and I am not a salesperson. I care too much about people and I feel too nervous to like make anyone feel like I'm trying to sell to them. And so that was a really big hurdle I had to get over. But I realized like if I feel this great on these products this quickly and I have a whole group of friends that I know of who have incredible stories. Maybe this could help other people, and maybe this isn't me being salesy. Maybe this is a solution that a lot of people are looking for, but they don't know it yet. So I started sharing my story, started sharing what I was learning, sharing other people's stories, and people were coming out of the woodwork for me to help them. And so we were able very quickly to replace my income so I could stay home with my daughters full time, all the way to getting to the top of the company within about three-ish years. And that's changed everything for my family. So not only have I seen incredible health differences, I've also seen just beautiful changes for our family and for so many other people that have come and joined me in this fun journey. And I know you're going to hear from other women here who have similar stories, but also very different. And so, if my story didn't resonate with you, I know you're going to hear somebody else's that did. I'm going to pass this off to Chandler Sanderson, my beautiful dear friend.
Hi, you guys. Let me just say first off, I'm on family vacation right now and there's like story time happening and they're all howling like wolves. So it might get really loud. I'll try to go really fast. I'm sorry. Okay. Hi, I am a Sapphire with the company. I started about 8 years ago and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. I have a very different story than Emily in that I actually grew up extremely healthy. Like my dad is a chiropractor. I grew up taking vitamins from the get-go. Like that's one of my earliest memories is choking down like 15 vitamins every single morning with my breakfast because we were just all about functional medicine. We got chiropractic adjustments. We always worked out before anything else. We always took our vitamins. So I actually double majored in that in college. I loved it so much. I did nutrition, dietetics, food science, and then I minored in exercise sports science. It was totally my lane. I was obsessed. So knowing all that I did, I actually was like just devastated that shortly after college, I ended up getting a diagnosis called polycystic ovarian syndrome. My weight just kept going up and up and up. I was super constipated and had dealt with that since I was like a toddler. And I just did not feel well. My confidence had plummeted. My energy was really low. I was super dependent on Red Bulls and I would go to the gas station every single morning before work. I would like have multiple cups of coffee, have my Red Bulls during lunch, and then I'd have to have pre-workout before I went to the gym. Like truly just copious amounts of caffeine to get me through the day. And I just felt awful. So when I was introduced to Plexus, I it wasn't that I was foreign to it. I was just extremely skeptical because I had seen network marketing done so wrong for so long. And I just did not want to be that girl. I didn't want anyone to know that I was taking the products. In fact, I had full intentions of using our 90-day money back guarantee and like returning my products. But a girl in my small group introduced me to it. And it was actually Jordan Roddenberry's sister. She's my now sponsor, who is a Diamond Plus very successful. And she's on our advisory board with the company. So very big deal. But I remember chatting with her and I was just like, okay, like, what, tell me about the strains. Like, tell me why this is better. Tell me why this is unique. She didn't really have the answers, but she was like, you just kind of have to try it to believe it. So I took her word for it and I started taking the products. And literally day one, I used the bathroom. And I was like, okay, is there like Pine Sol in this product? Like, what is it? Is this like a super corrosive laxative? Like, I've never used the bathroom gently and easily in my entire life, you guys. I've taken Miralax, fiber balls, fiber pills, like all the things my entire life since I was a toddler. So that was the biggest thing for me. She told me to keep it up, stick with it, and I did. In 6 months, and y'all would not even believe my transformation pictures. I lost only about 30, 35 pounds. I was also prepping for my wedding, so I was doing all the things. But the biggest thing for me was just my confidence. I had so much energy. I was not dependent on caffeine. I was not obsessed with sugar like I had been prior. My skin looked different. My weight looked like I just looked like a completely new person. And it was perfect timing because I got married and I have never had so much confidence in my entire life. And it was just beautiful. So I started sharing about that time as well. And within about 3 years, we hit Jewel, which meant I was able to walk away from my corporate sales income and just entirely lean onto this Plexus income. And I've had two babies. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I do this full time, but it's really only like 10 hours a week for my phone. And like we're on vacation right now and I'm working because it's just a part of my lifestyle. And I love it. And it's just easy and it goes with me and truly a gift that I never, ever, ever would have expected this being a part of my life. Just because of I think my misconceptions going into network marketing prior. So it's been such a gift. If you're hesitant, please just try it. If you're loving the products already and you're like, gosh, I need a change in my career, I need more income, I want more flexibility, I want to be able to vacation on a Sunday night, like this may be for you. So don't write it off. Stay open to stories and talk to your sponsor. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, I think I'm next. My name's Paige, and I'm an Emerald ambassador, and I started Plexus about 10 years ago. I was a tired teacher. I had always been one that worked out, and I was pretty healthy in what I ate, but I did love sugar. I was eating ice cream pretty much every night, but I thought if I worked out hard enough, it wouldn't matter because I could just, eat the ice cream, work out hard enough, and I'd be fine. But I had started taking oh, Spark. It's like a active type drink, but active is way better. And it was keeping me awake. I was taking it so I could work out after school, after teaching all day, kindergarten. And then it was keeping me awake all night. And so Lauren Geary, who I taught with, she had just started on Plexus maybe a month before. And she was like, you got to try this pink drink. I knew nothing about gut health. I did not get on social media. I didn't like it at all. So that's probably why I didn't know anything about Plexus. I had had people approach me before wanting me to try their pink drink, but I was just like, nah, but I trusted Lauren completely. So when Lauren said, try this, I was like, okay. So I started on the triplex, and about 3 weeks in, I started sleeping better, not even realizing that I wasn't sleeping good. And if you've been on Plexus, you know what I mean. Like you get that sleep and you're like, whoa, waking up feeling ready to just teach all those kindergartners and then go work out and then come home and cook dinner and do all the things that you have to do at home with your kids. And so my husband even took notice. He was like, God, you're sleeping so good. Get me some of that stuff. So he was my first person I signed up. As fast forward through taking it over the course of the year, I also had really bad migraines. Had no idea they were related to well, I knew they were related to my hormones, but no idea that my hormones were related to my gut health. So after about 6 months to a year, I noticed that my migraines that I would have once a month were getting less and less and less, until eventually I haven't had a migraine in years. I also had something called diverticulitis, which I am one of your older ladies in Plexus. But even at this young age of 45, when I started, that was young to have diverticulitis. And I took Plexus for years and still had flare-ups. But when the reset came out, I started doing the reset once a month, and I have not had a flare-up since then. That has been, I don't know how long reset's been out, maybe 2 or 3 years, but my sister still has flare-ups every 3 or 4 months. And I keep telling her, you need to just do the reset once a month. So on top of all of that, my joint pain went away, sleeping better. Of course, my skin started looking healthier and better, just more energy, just able to get through all the things that you have to get through. I had what I would call mild anxiety. Like I would get really, really nervous talking to the parents of my kindergartners, not the kindergartners, but the parents of my kindergartners when we would do like parent night. And after I had been on the triplex for about 3 months, I was just like, no problem at all. So I think it did something with my anxiety as far as that goes. And then now, of course, the Restore. I love the Restore and the triplex, the collagen for all this, and the skincare. It's all just such amazing stuff. But I was also able to stop teaching about 5 years ago because my Plexus income replaced my teaching income, and that was always the goal. But you got to keep in mind, like if you're someone who doesn't know anything about social media, that was me. Like had never even liked a post before I started posting about Plexus. And then from then I've grown a social media presence, and I'm never going to say I'm good at it, but I do enjoy it a little bit more now. But to me, the health testimonies have been so amazing to get through the day and the month without having a migraine, the diverticulitis, all the things. I mean, they're just amazing products. I can't stress enough how much Plexus and the community of all the fabulous people that I've met through Plexus, it's all just meant so much. Amazing. So I think I'm passing it off to Hannah.
That's amazing. Hi, I'm Hannah, and I am in Boise, Idaho, a Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus. I've been here for 8 years, and I'm going to take you back to the very beginning when I was holding my second baby at the time, and in a tearful budget conversation with my husband on how we were going to get ahead. He's a dentist, I'm a nurse, and so we have stable, great jobs, and yet we were in a place of not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with the debt that we had through student loans. Our monthly payment was interest and barely, if at all. And so we just were buried, and it was, and then another part of that, then also was looking for a good multivitamin. At the time, I was just taking the.
Hey, Hannah, I'm going to interrupt you.
I then started to learn about it.
Hey,
What happened?
hey, Hannah. Hey, it's cutting out really, really badly.
Yeah.
So let's have Haley go and you get to a better spot. Because I think it's cutting, and you've such a
Okay.
beautiful story. I don't want to miss it. So Haley, why don't you go next, and then Hannah will go right after
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Hi, my name's Haley Ross. I am an Emerald Ambassador. I live in Hobbs, New Mexico. I still claim Texas at heart, but we have lived here for 8 years. I am a full-time educational diagnostician, and I don't know if I said I've been with Plexus 4 years, but I've been with Plexus about 4 years. My story's a little different. I truly, I had heard about Plexus before. I even kind of took the products in college, but I was college, couldn't afford them, and I was like, nah, this isn't working anyways, like, cut it out. But I had my first baby, and I was a head volleyball coach, and my postpartum anxiety was through the roof. I've never really dealt with anxiety, and so I didn't really know like what was happening, but my husband was at the point where he was like, you got to go to the doctor, you got to get on anxiety meds. And I was like, whoa, I'm not getting on meds. And he was like, you're not sleeping, like this isn't good for you, things like that. But I had a friend, her name is Haley as well, and she was like, hey, I've been taking this pink drink, and it really helped with my postpartum anxiety because she had it really bad too, and she had a baby right before me. And I was like, girl, I'm not taking your pink drink for postpartum anxiety, okay? No, thank you. I'll just go to the doctor. I've been on ADHD meds. Okay, my story is kind of like back and forth with anxiety and ADHD, but I'm gonna make it quick, I promise. I started because of postpartum anxiety. And I was like, listen, I don't want to be on medication because I had been on ADHD medication my whole life. And I was like, I want to try to do this the right way. So I took this pink drink and was like, I started with Triplex and Vital Biome. And truly, that was my go-to combo for like the first 2.5 years. And I didn't struggle with postpartum anxiety at all with my second baby. And I haven't had like anxiety since. So cheers to Vital Biome. It's like my favorite thing ever. But what I didn't realize would happen is that I would also be free from ADHD medicine for 4 years now. And I've been on it since I was in the 6th grade. And you guys, my parents did everything to help me, but I needed it in high school and in junior high and all the things. But I was on it through college and everything. I got off because I was pregnant and I didn't want to be on meds pregnant. And then here we are now because of gut health. Like that's the only thing that changed with me. I no longer have to take ADHD medication. And that's something that I like never thought would happen. My ADHD is like pretty severe. And maybe it's not even like so much ADHD as ADD, like just not focusing on one thing at one time, But when I started with active, no, sorry. Okay, no, please go. Sit down and sorry, you guys. My only quiet place in my house is my closet, and she thinks it's a team call, so I apologize. Please don't talk. And so I've been ADHD free for medicine free. I mean, I still have it, you guys, but I take Triplex and Active, and it is like the holy grail. The holy grail. I love it. It's helped me focus. It's helped me just be free of medication. Um, I'm going to share just a little bit on the business side. I wasn't going to, but just a tiny bit. I told Chandler that this was a pyramid scheme and that I would never ever do this. So please don't talk to me about it again. I would never tell anyone about it. But within 2 weeks, my husband noticed a difference. And then all of my friends at work noticed a difference. And everyone was like, I want some. I want to try it. And I was like sending them to my upline, Haley. Her name is Haley too. And I was like, no, you can sign with her. Like, I'm not doing this. Haley and Chandler sat me down and they were like, you're doing this. Like, let's just do it. And I had seen network marketing done wrong so many times that I was like, I will not be that girl. But I'm happy to be that girl with Plexus. Like I'm so proud to be a part of this company because they just do it right. And the community that I've found, my faith has grown tremendously. We've been surrounded by really beautiful people. And yeah, I mean, it's just changed our life completely from finances to health to lots of different things. So that's a little bit about my story. I think I'm passing it to, back to Hannah.
I'm so sorry, you guys, that happened. I also am removed from where our Wi-Fi is so that I can have a quiet place. And I just want to say that's the beauty of what we're doing. We're not running and doing a 9 to 5 and leaving our families. We get to plug this in and when it works for our families. And so I love that we have kids here. I love that that's just a part of what we do and how we do it. So I'm going to restart really quick and go through this, but I want to take you to a place where I was holding my second child, a 1-month-old baby, on my chest in a very stressful budget conversation with my husband, who's a dentist and I'm a nurse. And we were just trying to find a way on how we could ever get ahead and get through this, like this mountain of debt that we felt from our student loans. And our monthly payments were barely covering the interest, weren't even touching the principals. And so it was just suffocating. Like we didn't have this freedom of choice and just like, what else can we do? And honestly, like the easy way was, who do we know that has a lot of money that can pay this off? And then we make a deal where we like pay them 2% interest instead of 8% interest. And like, we're trying to like wheel and deal, right? Little did I know that the Lord had something that would require work and effort and time, but it's also so beautiful. And that's a part of my story. But also, what got me interested in Plexus was wanting a high quality multivitamin. I'd understood this need for something that you would hope you're getting for your body, not something with fillers and synthetics and gross capsules that you're not even absorbing or getting what you'd hope for. So my friend Emily had said, hey, have you ever heard of Plexus? And I had not. And I spent months researching because I'm a nurse. I want to understand why and how, and want to make sure it's helpful, not harmful. And I had already considered myself healthy, eating well, exercising, doing all the things, didn't have any issues that I knew of at the time. And yet I was miserable until I recognized what it felt like to actually feel good. So then after I was like, yes, sign me up for this. I love what I'm learning in that these ingredients are incredibly like purposeful and doing amazing things in our body for our gut health and our inflammation and our blood sugar balance, all these things that are like pillars to our health. And I love this idea of addressing root issues because in the hospital, we're so quick to just take this medication and, oh, you have reflux, take an antacid, like versus asking the questions on, well, why are we feeling this way? So I took the products and I was really shocked to see that I was not running off of caffeine and naps to make it through my day. I was not digging into the candy bag that I had in my work locker stash because I had to have a sugar fix. My digestion regulated. I looked 4 or 5 months pregnant, not being pregnant because I was so bloated, always uncomfortable. And that was just my normal because that's how I had been my whole life. So going to the bathroom every morning like clockwork, whether I'm traveling or pregnant, is like amazing. And then my milk supply took off, which was a huge struggle with my first baby. And then also with the second. But then when that shifted, I was like, whoa, these products are fueling my body with what it needs and what it's lacking. And this is normal. And so I just was really passionate about, you guys, all of us are walking around thinking that we're feeling great and we're not. Here, let's try this. And I loved being able to help people. I loved hearing these success stories through like helping them with Plexus. And I remember getting my first paycheck and being like, whoa, I can prioritize my health for myself and my family without having to budget this in. This is awesome. Paychecks were growing as my customers and my team were growing. And then a light bulb went off that, like, wow, this is totally an avenue of another income stream that we then use to pay off our debt. And I mean, it took years for us, but when we reached the top of the company, one of the top ranks at Emerald, we were able to put $10,000 a month towards our student loans and paid off $240,000 in 21 months. You guys, that was life changing. So when we hear that word, we think it's so cliche, but yet when you look at the way I'm functioning as a mom and a wife and going through my days, and I'm not working at the hospital anymore, I'm home full time and not having this weight of debt, and we can have a conversation about dreaming with what we're going to do with our finances and who and what we're going to do to bless and help versus always like on this receiving end. It's a beautiful thing. And so that is my story in a nutshell on just how impactful Plexus can be, whatever your story might be. I'm now passing it off for closing. I think
With
Sunny.
me. Hi. Hi, guys. I'm Sunny Keck. I live in Arkansas. I am a non-practicing social worker, but I was deep in social work when I first joined with Plexus. Absolutely 100% on a whim. I think I have some of that ADD situation going on, Haley. Like, it was absolutely just a gut feeling. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and go for it because everyone and their mother was talking about Plexus, and I was sitting back on my pretty little high horse going, yeah, right. Okay. All right. Sure. It's doing all these things you're saying that it's doing. That's fine. Great for you. Right. I also got a sample, Emily, and I didn't try it. I was nervous. I was skeptical. I was convinced it wasn't going to work. But, you know, a good old enrolling special got me right on. I'm like, you know, I'm just going to try this for myself and just see that it doesn't work like everybody says that it does. Spoiler alert, it did. Though I started with the triplex and I only took Slim at first because I was going to only take one thing at a time because I was convinced one of them was going to kill me and I wanted to know exactly which product it was that did it. I didn't die. But within the first week, I woke up feeling refreshed. Like, hello, I slept last night. That was amazing. Like, I didn't need to snooze 10 times. I'm like, I was 25 at the time. I had no children. I should not have been that tired, period. I just shouldn't. And I was, again, like many of you guys were saying, relying on caffeine. I had to have it. And I would do those random 3 a.m. wake ups, right? Where you're like wide awake, like, why did I just like wake up at 3 a.m.? Why am I crashing at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and I can't focus? I can't get anything done. I'm about to fall asleep. Like, I literally was like closing my office door and praying nobody would answer so I could just close my eyes for 5 minutes. That's silly. Nobody should be living like that. But I thought it was my lot in life. I thought that it was normal. Everybody does it, but just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal. And that is what I want you guys to take away and share with the masses, is that Plexus can give you options. This may not be for you. It is not for everyone, but it will give you options for your health that you maybe didn't think were possible. Like migraines, heartburn, painful periods. Those all were a part of my life, and I thought that they were normal, and I thought that they were from my family, genetic. It was just what I was going to have to deal with. But it gave me options to look into, and what Plexus has done for me is encouraged me to advocate for myself and to look at different things. I didn't know that insulin was my master hormone. I did not know about the gut-brain axis. I did not know that my gut was my second brain. I didn't know how intertwined all of these things were until I just jumped right in to the whole gut health system and gave it a try. And then I'm looking back and going, oh, I haven't had this going on. Like, and it just kept getting better and better and better. And 10 years, almost 11 years down the road, I'm looking back and going, that's how I was living. And this is all possible. And I just want you guys to know that there are options with your health, and there are options financially. And we're all looking for ways to make life easier. Life should not be this hard, guys. It shouldn't be this hard. And we have something that we can share with people to make life potentially easier, right? And so that's what I'm taking away from this. And that's what I want you guys to continue to share. If you're brand new and you're like looking at this and you're skeptical, I just want you to know, hello, I'm so glad you're here. We're not scared of your skepticism, like not even just like a little bit. Like we're not scared because we've been there, we've felt that, we've done that, we've walked the path, friend, and we will walk it with you as you tiptoe as lightly or as jumping all in as you want to. We're there with you. Also, if you're on this call and you've been doing this for years, like I have, and you needed this breath of fresh air, I mean, just, I needed this. I needed to be with you guys. I needed to see your smiling faces. I needed to hear your stories. It was good for me. It was good and refreshing because I needed to remember what I have to offer to the masses. And I plan to go talk about it right now. And I hope that you guys do the same. Thank you for being on. Thanks for being who you are and what you do. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. And I hope you guys have a great night. Goodbye.